Hello, this is Riley Porter with Seattle Sumo. You are listening to a commentary track for day one of the 1964 Hatsu Basho. The coverage for this tournament can be found on the Japan Sumo Association's YouTube channel, and I'm going to try to include a link for the video itself in the description for this video. The coverage is free for day one, days 2 through 15. Will be locked behind a membership wall, and the membership for the Japan Sumo Association's YouTube channel is $9 a month. So to sync up the commentary with the official coverage, I will count backwards from 3, 3, 2, 1. As I hit the N in 1, you will click play. I'll do the same and we'll be in sync. There is audio for this tournament, unlike the 1960 Haru Basho. So just a heads up, you might want to turn the sound down before you get the video started, otherwise it might be kind of impossible to hear the commentary. And without further ado, we'll get going. I'll start the countdown and we'll begin. 3, 2, 1. Futabayama Taiho Chiyonofuji Archive. Well, 1964 Hatsu Basho. We are coming off of a second Yusho for Tochinoumi in Kyushu. Here's the christening that takes place on the dohyo before every tournament. Tochinoumi won the last Basho with a 14-1 at the Ozeki rank, so he is in position for a Yokozuna promotion. And if he can come through with a second Yusho, a second consecutive one I should say, or perhaps an equivalent performance, of course we'll be looking to the Yokozuna, Taiho and Kashiwado to add to their cup count. Taiho, of course, is tied with Yokozuna Tachiyama for the most or second most Yusho, I should say. He is one shy of Futabayama's all-time record of 12 Yusho. Additionally, Taiho has completed more tournaments at the Yokozuna rank than his Nishonoseki predecessor, Tamanishiki. He served, I believe, 11 Basho as Yokozuna, and Taiho has served 12. This will be his 13th at the rank. He's only 23 years old, so plenty of time to extend his winning ways. Now the top members of the Banzuke and the Chief Oyakata will open up the day's action. Here in the middle is Tokitsukaze Oyakata, the former Futabayama, reading out the opening remarks. So Taiho here to on Futabayama's right side, let's say. We'll be looking to tie Futabayama's record of 12 Yusho. Taiho, his last 6 he collected consecutively, but it's been about 3 Basho since his last championship, so we'll see what form he's in. Oh, standing next to Tokitsukaze is Tatsunami Oyakata, the former Haguroyama. Now here's Tochinoumi, returning the Emperor's Cup to Tokitsukaze. And there on the left of the screen, far left, you'll see Takasago Oyakata, the former Maeda Yama. So these Oyakata here, some of the pillars of the World War II era of Ozumo. And now the champion's flag being returned. This time collected by Tatsunami Oyakata. Now, though Taiho shares the top spot, I don't know that I see his Shisho, Nishonoseki, anywhere around. On the far right, of course, is the former Deiwano Hana, the current Deiwano Umi Oyakata. He took over after Tsune no Hana passed away. Now, our first match, Aranami, is against Wakanaruto. Wakanaruto has the advantage in their head-to-head, 4-1. Aranami, not exactly top division material as of yet, but we'll see if he can prove himself here. Big charge, Wakanaruto catches him, hooks the arm. Aranami's dug his way inside, Morozashi. Not quite on the belt, but he's digging in, pumping his gut in. Wakanaruto trying to pull his hips back a little. In an awkward position. Aranami digs in, tries for the lift, but Wakanaruto turns the tables on and now he's got his back on the edge. Aranami twists and finishes Wakanaruto. I think you'd call that a tsuridashi. A little bit of a lift out there. Twisting and turning on the edge. Aranami starts the tournament with a good omen, an opening day win. Now, Wakanaruto was the same top division opponent he beat the last time. I think he was in the top division, Aranami. The only top division member he's been able to beat. Wakamiyama, the youngest, heaviest, and newest, next to Kitano Fuji, member of this division, against Tochi Oyama. Tochi Oyama blasts into the chest, but Wakamiyama doesn't move an inch back. Now he gets to forward. A little struggling here. Tochi Oyama's lifting the middle of the belt. Maimitsu trying to dull Wakamiyama's charge. Wakamiyama bearing down on him, using his weight advantage. Tries to finish. Tochi Oyama trying to move to the side, but swung down is Tochi Oyama. Wakamiyama picks up his first win in his first top division bout. So the young Tatsunami Dikishi starts well. Only 20 years old, I believe. Very young despite his size. His Anko Gata, as it were. Deiwan Ishiki, the oldest man in this division. He's 38 against Kiyokuni. It's their first meeting. Kiyokuni is only in his second top division basho. He charges in. Deiwan Ishiki seems a bit caught off guard there. He catches the impact and gets scooted out by Kiyokuni, Yorikiri. So Kiyokuni starts the basho well. He just barely got his Kachikoshi last time out, so not too much further up the Banzuke than before. A good opportunity to show his stuff. Now, Ogiyama against Kanenohana. 2-2 head-to-head, they're even. Now, hitting at the chest and the throat is Kanenohana, and losing his balance is Kanenohana. Twirling around onto his seat, and Ogiyama gets his first win on day one. Picks the edge in their head-to-head now, 3-2, in Ogiyama's favor. Well, next up we've got Kitano Fuji, brand new to the top division. He's coming off a Zensho Yusho in Juryo, a pretty rare feat against Uragawa here. Kitano Fuji, a little Nodoa, snakes around, gets that Sotogake, and topples Uragawa. So very aggressive, speedy sumo from Kitano Fuji. That's his 19th consecutive win. So he's on a roll and taking it into the top division. The latest top division debutant from Hokkaido, a real sumo powerhouse these days. Kitano Fuji, well built. Tsunenishiki against Fusanishiki. Fusanishiki has the advantage, 6-2 in his head-to-head against Tsunenishiki, though he had a much worse outing last basho. Dodges to the side and slapping down Hataki Komi is Fusanishiki. Makes quick work of Tsune. So Fusanishiki, already a third of the way to his previous score, though at this rank I think that he should expect to get a Kachikoshi, all things considered. Pretty experienced, generally sharp off the tachiai. Maybe he's not quite feeling it or just didn't care to deal with Tsunenishiki in a grapple. Tsunenishiki is pretty feisty. Wakahaguro against Kairyu Yama from the Isegahama stable, Kiyokuni's senior stablemate. Comes in low, does Kairyu Yama. Now he's yanking up on the belt and finishes Wakahaguro Yorikiri. So Wakahaguro, not quite what he used to be. A little listless in that bout. We'll see if he can maybe get off the mark tomorrow. Kairyu Yama, opening day win. So both the Isegahama top division Dikishi get their opening day win, making their coach proud. Kairyu Yama, of course, a bit more experienced than Kiyokuni in this top division. Wakanami, the lightest wrestler in this division, is against Tsurugamine. Very experienced Dikishi, the sole Izutsu representative in this top division. Even head-to-head, 1-1. Tsurugamine gets to pushing a little, but slips past. Goes inside, wheels around, picks up Wakanami, gets that outside leg trip going, but Wakanami hangs on, braces himself, lifts. Makikai grip change, but no go. Tsurugamine finishes the lighter man, Yorikiri. Or perhaps not. It looks like the Goombay went the way of Wakanami. Perhaps I missed an inadvertent step out. Moving very fast and furious at the edge there. Well, good for Wakanami. He held on. Tsurugamine really gave it an aggressive attack, but Wakanami shows that he's got a pretty strong back. Good for offense and defense. Now, Amatsukaze from Tokitsukaze, in case you couldn't guess, against Hirokawa from Miyagino. Blasting and shoving is Hirokawa thrusting away. Amatsukaze's returning fire, but not quite hitting the mark as much. Now Hirokawa snuggles inside, tries to finish Yorikiri, and that looked to me like Tsukidashi, or Oshidashi rather. Push out. Hirokawa gets his opening day win. And extends his lead over Amatsukaze, 5-3 in their head-to-head now. So Hirokawa looking good on opening day. Very speedy bout there. Interesting the contrast in energy sometimes you see in these bouts depending on the shape that everybody's in. You kind of haven't sorted everyone into their appropriate brackets, so to speak. Sawa Hikari is against Iwakaze. Sawa Hikari had a great debut last Basho, secured the Fighting Spirit Prize. And he's up against a tough veteran in the Crouching Tiger, Iwakaze. Stays low, catches Sawa Hikari, who's desperately trying to fight his way inside, but no dice. Iwakaze's behind him now and finishes him. Ukuri Dashi, rear push out. Well, Iwakaze showed his experience there. In typical Iwakaze fashion, began the bout in a squatted catching position. Sawa Hikari, a lot of energy, but not quite a game plan to utilize it. We'll see if he can do better tomorrow. Iwakaze got an opening day win, so good omen. Didn't have a great outing last Basho, so looking for a Kachikoshi here, and I think it's possible. The Shimpan are shuffling out, shuffling in, change of the guard, change of the judges. Hard to judge sometimes who these Shimpan were as Dikishi, without getting a good look at their face. In any event, next bout, Kainoyama, coming off a runner-up performance and technique prize, is against Aono Sato. Strikes quickly does Kainoyama, gets a Morozashi. They're circled in the middle, Aono Sato posted up on him. Kainoyama is head dug into the chest. If he can get a drive going, he can finish him, but Aono Sato, not too bad defensively. Sticks with them. And finishes Kainoyama. Looked to me like Kakenake perhaps, a leg toss, leg hooking throw. Perhaps a hip toss. In any event, Aono Sato wins the day. Brings their head-to-head a little closer together. Now it's 5-4 in Kainoyama's favor, but Kainoyama not finding the going as easy as before this high up the Banzuke. Maedegawa against Hagurohana. Their head-to-head's 3-7. Hagurohana's lead. Maedegawa dives in, grabs the arms, and a nice Totari arm bar to swing down Hagurohana. So improves his head-to-head to 4-7. Maedegawa does, and their head-to-head with his head-to-head with Hagurohana. So good start for the Takasago Dikishi. The Maeda, of course, a reference to his Shisho, the former Maeda Yama. Next up, we have Daigo, a Sekiwake, something of a perennial Sekiwake. He's not really looking like he's on his way up against Haguroyama. Hagoroyama comes in low, Daigo a little high. Hagoroyama's deep inside with that left. Daigo leaning on him, moves for that outside. Can't quite get it. Now he's got it. He's in gear. He moves away, tries to get that Uwate Nage going, but Hagoroyama tries an inside throw, but a Yorikiri finish. Daigo wins on the opening day. As a Sekiwake, he should hope to beat all the Maegashira opponents he runs into. He'll have plenty of competition down the road against his fellow Sanyaku opponents. So Daigo picks up his opening day win. Those of you who maybe are coming off the commentary or the series for 1960 Haru, you should know that Daigo is the former Wakamisugi. Tochi Hikari against Koto Sakura. Koto Sakura coming off an outstanding performance prize for the previous Basho. And is swung down without too much fuss by Tochi Hikari. So, not a great omen for the Sarukatake man. Tochi Hikari dispatches the lower-ranked Sanyaku opponent, the Shin Komosubi, retains his Ozeki dignity. Now, next up, we have Fujinishiki against Kitabayama. 9-15 head-to-head in Kitabayama's favor. So you could bet on him to win this match. Likes to come in low, get that inside. Fujinishiki's lower, he's pushing and thrusting and finishes Kitabayama Tsukidashi. Thrust out a look to me and in great Fujinishiki form. He's at his best when he's pushing from down low, and he, despite facing an opponent that's not really any taller than he is, came out on top. So, good for the Takasago man. Coming out ahead against the Ozeki. Not a great sign for Kitabayama, but there's plenty of time left in the Basho. Now we have Sarunoyama against Tama Arashi. It's a 3-1 head-to-head in the Ozeki's favor. Tama Arashi is feisty, but a little out of his depth perhaps. Pushes on the chest, gets to the Nodowa. Sarunoyama returns fire. Presses on the throat, gets to shoving, really arcs back to Tama Arashi, and then ends up slapping him down. Hataki Komi win for Sarunoyama on opening day. So 2 out of 3 Ozeki so far, coming out ahead. A good sign for the Basho on the whole, in my view. Now that looks like the former Wakabayama there, the ringside judge. Unless I'm mistaken. Tokitsukaze veteran. Now, Ogi no Hana against Yutakayama. Ogi no Hana, stablemate of Sarunoyama. 3-9 head-to-head in Yutakayama's favor. So Yutakayama locks up on the arm and crushes out Ogi no Hana, Yori Taoshi. Yutakayama, aggressive sumo, using his size to his advantage. He's one of the tallest Rikishi in this top division, Yutakayama. He's tied with Myobu Dani for the tallest. Yeah, good for him, opening day 1. He'll want to beat all the lower-ranked opponents he can if he wants to get a Yusho for the first time. Tochi no Umi, defending champion, Yokozuna hopeful against Myobu Dani, fighting out of Miyagino stable. Comes in low, does Tochi no Umi. He's got that outside right now, inside left. Doesn't want to get too deep in there. Myobu Dani likes to lift. Uchigake, inside leg trip. He's sticking to it. Tochi no Umi, can he finish him? Now it's looking like a Nuwate, or Shitate rather. Outside leg trip. He's being picked up. He's being swung around, but he's hanging on, is Tochi no Umi. Now the two move back into the middle. Yotsuzumo. And twisting away is Tochi no Umi and finishing Myobu Dani. So I think Not really sure what you'd call that. Seemed to me like a twist down. Maki Otoshi, perhaps? Well, in any event, they're going to have a mono-e. Not sure who touched down first. The judges will review. I don't believe they have any high-speed replay or anything of the like to go to. Oh, Sachichigaya looks like. I think they've reversed the decision in favor of Myobudani. So Myobudani, that's his third win against Tochinoumi in 13 meetings. So we overcame the odds there. Tochinoumi, not a great sign for his Yokozuna hopes, but you know, plenty of Dikishi have come back for an opening day loss to do wonders. Wakachichibu against Kashiwado, our first Yokozuna match of the day, first of two, has the head-to-head against Wakachichibu, the lead, 9-5 in Kashiwado's favor. Wakachichibu, a little Inashi, hits and comes out to the side, but Kashiwado quickly pivots and finishes Wakachichibu Yorikiri. Not too much fuss for the Yokozuna today. Gets his 10th win over Wakachichibu and his first win of the Basho. So he's looking to be in good shape. Not too heavily bandaged, so perhaps another Yusho for Kashiwado, we'll see. Our final match of the day is between Taiho and Toyokuni. 3-1 lead in Taiho's favor. Toyokuni from the Tokitsukaze stable. And he misses Taiho off the Tachiai. Moto Tezuki double thrust hands out, and he hit air and was escorted out of the ring promptly. So Taiho gets a very easy opening day win. So the Yokozuna are in shape. The Ozeki look to be in relatively good shape. Sanyaku's looking tidy. I think that this will be a good one to watch. So, the rest of the commentary will be uploaded as quickly as possible. Membership will be required, but I hope you enjoyed today's commentary. Thank you for joining me.